everybody, welcome back to the GamerNerdz. I'm Monica Jolie. It's been 5 years in the making. After 2 prequels and much anticipation, Bioware and EA bring the epic space trilogy to a close with Mass Effect 3. Your choices, your story, and your Shepard shape the outcome. With so much hype surrounding this game, does Bioware deliver?
Let's get into the story of Mass Effect 3. This is the final chapter in the story arc for the Mass Effect series. The Reapers have arrived. Everything Shepard has been saying coming to fruition. And guess what? The galaxy is not ready because no one paid attention.
Shepard is reinstated into the Alliance at the beginning of the game to lead the attack against the Reapers. Obviously, the human and Alliance forces can't do that on their own. If you've played previous Mass Effect games, it takes a whole fleet to take down a single Reaper. Now you have the entire Reaper family led by Harbinger. So his role at the beginning of the game is to gather war assets and anyone who will support Shepard in his cause. Turians, Krogans, a certain race of space lobsters, whatever Shepard can do.
Everything Bioware has been saying about how the previous games will affect the outcome is true to an extent. We'll get to that later. Any decision you made in Mass Effect 1, Mass Effect 2, you will in some cases benefit from them, in others suffer for those.
If you killed a certain Krogan, he may not be in this game. If you played with certain DLC characters in Mass Effect 2, they may support you in this one. However insignificant it may have been in the first 2 games, they will play some role in your fight against the Reapers.
Although it is a direct sequel to Mass Effect 2, it does feel more like a continuation of Mass Effect 1, just in terms of the characters you're rolling with in this game. One thing that Bioware has really established, the sense of camaraderie that you feel with the crew that you've built. Garrett, at this point, he just kind of feels like my homeboy. In the previous games, the characters you recruited had their section that they stayed at in the Normandy. In this, you'll see some characters in other places you would not expect them to be having conversations with the other characters.
To my disappointment, it is primarily Mass Effect 1 characters. All the Mass Effect 2 characters have sort of a secondary role in this one. They will support you in the fight against the Reapers, but you can actually have them as squad mates. Most of the characters are reselected from the first one, and there are some new ones. There's Chris Redfield from Resident Evil, quote unquote, even a very sexy robot, which has some absolutely fantastic, hilarious scenes with Joker.
One of the issues I had with Mass Effect 1 and 2 was the fact that after every single main mission, it was important for you to go back into the Normandy, check up on your characters and see what they had to say to get more of that backstory. That does return in this game. I do love seeing and hearing what the characters have to say, but it gets kind of annoying. Let me go check on this person. You're walking from here to here. It feels a little irritating. Once you get there, it's rewarding.
There's surprisingly a good amount of humor here. If you listen to these secondary conversations, there's some genuinely funny stuff.
There are choices you make that really have significant outcomes, and they're extremely difficult to make. Mass Effect 3 really upped the ante. The stakes are really present.
Mass Effect for me has been one of the greatest set of games I've ever played. I've played all 3 games for a total of 150 hours. For 158 hours and 40 minutes, it is the greatest series ever, and it all falls apart in the last 20 minutes. I understand it's a very difficult series to end. We're not gonna spoil anything. You must have heard all the controversy. People are warning the FTC, there's petitions, they're suing Bioware. The ending, it has no place in the series. Everything you fought for, everything you've done, it's just thrown out the window.
I don't want to touch on the ending for too long because we wouldn't let you guys get there and get angry like the rest of us. Regardless of how you try to interpret it, you still feel completely dissatisfied.
Bioware now, they have addressed this. There's supposed to be some post-game initiative content coming. Everything was fantastic, Bioware. The story is great. Last 20 minutes, I mean. So now if you are a veteran of the series, you should be right at home with Mass Effect 3. It really does follow the lines of Mass Effect 2. It's much more action-oriented. It is an RPG under the skin, but you are looking at a third-person action game with cover-based mechanics. Based on the character class you choose, you could be a Vanguard, Infiltrator, you can be a Soldier, you can be a Biotic Adept. You still have your squad mates that will support you throughout the mission. There's been some subtle changes made to the cover mechanic. Now Shepard can launch the cover, go along walls. It's really Gears of War-ish. Doesn't work that well, a little bit too sticky. I just preferred running and gunning, shooting in and out, but I had a Vanguard character. I don't know about you.
I played as a Soldier and love the fact that the gameplay, especially the shooting mechanics, have been extremely refined. It feels just a lot more fluid. The shooting feels more versatile. You saying it's sticky? I don't think it's sticky at all.
You're playing it as a shooter though, right? I played it as a Vanguard. I'm primarily using biotic powers. Which squad mates, I could have someone lift them in the air, incinerate them, and then I can do a biotic slam. The gameplay is different for everyone.
I think the one thing I really love about Mass Effect 3 in terms of just gameplay is the fact it's a lot more refined. They took everything that worked in the previous games, made them better, and they took the things that didn't necessarily work, like the planet scanning.
Which is still back, by the way.
It's still back, but at least it's been toned down to not be as irritating. One of the only complaints I have with the gameplay, the side quests, the ones that you find predominantly on the Citadel. Shepard is kind of just eavesdropping and listening to people's conversations, running off to go find items in space because he has nothing else better to do.
To save the galaxy, but you know what? I will go find that Codex sitting on some random planet, running away from Reapers. So in this game, the amount of weapons you're carrying actually affect your biotic recharge time. So as a soldier, you may want to stockpile weapons. You'll use your adrenaline rush. It won't affect your gameplay that much. If you're an adept though, and you get really strong, then you want to have just a pistol. On top of that, you still can customize your weapons and even customize your armor. Even though it looks like a third-person shooter, there is a lot of depth behind it.
Bioware incorporated the use of the Kinect in the gameplay, and it's cute. It's actually a really good way of saying it. You shoot out voice commands to get things done. You will look like an idiot, but it works.
Yes, it does, but it's not gonna make me change the way I play the game.
Mass Effect 3 brings in multiplayer. I gave it a shot right at the beginning, played it for about 10 seconds, turned it off, whatever, just, I don't care.
Until you found out.
You needed to put up your effective rating or whatever, readiness.
Galaxy War readiness.
And you need that for the ending of the game. I actually was surprised. Once I gave it a shot, it really did feel like you're playing Gears of War 3 online. It felt like Horde mode.
It is Horde mode, there's no question. There is a lot of strategy behind it. You do customize your character. You can buy packs that give you weapons, metagels, and rockets and all that. It is really fun with 4 people. Like you said, it does affect your Galaxy War rating, so you will be playing it. Now EA has kind of put you in a corner here because if you don't have an online pass, or if you don't play Xbox Live or PSN, you can't get the best ending. It actually is fun. I don't think it's gonna last very long, but it's not a bad thing at all, actually.
So let's get into the AV. Mass Effect 1 to Mass Effect 2 was a huge jump. Going from Mass Effect 2 to Mass Effect 3, maybe not necessarily a huge, gigantic jump as it was previously, but it's still bloody fantastic. This is such a beautiful looking game.
There's more shadow detail. There's a lot of variance in environments. You are jumping from a lot of different worlds. Primarily spending time on the Citadel again, which looks even prettier. There's some moments that it's pretty, and there's some moments that are really bad. The lip syncing. I don't know why they put all this time into voice acting and development, and they cannot get the lip synced. In some cases, it's worse than an old school Japanese movie. I don't know if it's an industry trend, but the default animation for a character when they're talking to someone is to cross their arms and then lean to the side. Adam Jensen was guilty of it. Shepard's been guilty of it. It's just hilarious.
You mentioned voice acting. The voice acting has been key to this game since the first one. It doesn't get any better than this. Mass Effect 3 borrows a lot from the music style from Mass Effect 1 and 2. There's a lot of synth, which he really likes.
Love it, love it, love it.
Right at the beginning of the game, when you're flying away into Normandy and you're looking back at Earth, and they played that amazing piano song
with the Inception horns.
And then you have the Mass Effect 3 logo pop in. At that point, I was sold.
If you bought the collector's edition, you can download the OST. I'm sad to say there are a lot of glitches in this. Had cutscenes where Shepard is talking to someone like this, but his body's moving, it made no sense. I've had some game-breaking moments. Audio was too fast for the visuals. I had an ending of a cutscene that wouldn't show up, or I had some situations where Shepard was running really slow. But I looked past it.
I just think it's your Xbox. That never happened to me.
Bioware's always been talking about continuity, supporting your character, supporting his decisions. The first thing we did is you import your Mass Effect 2 character, and it didn't work. My decisions were made, Rex was alive, the Raccoonite Queen was dead, but I did not have my Shepard imported. I worked on it for an hour, and the best thing I could do was come up with a Drake lookalike.
You got Drake, man.
It ruined it for me. That is a key component, and I thought I wouldn't be bothered by it. Who is this imposter? As a package, audiovisual, Bioware's been at this for so long, they're masters at it.
Once the game was launched, there was also a DLC that came called From Ashes. This introduces a new character and some really cool backstory.
Don't think that it's the end of it. There's definitely this post-game content coming. I know Bioware's gonna support it for a long time.
I was really looking forward to romancing Jessica Chobot in this game.
They're really good at character modeling, but she's melting.
Beyond that, Mass Effect 3 was awesome.
Great series, good job Bioware. You lost steam at the end of the game, but I'll forgive you because it was the best series I've ever played.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the show. See you next time on The GamerNerdz.
This is gonna be fun. Woo! This is the final story arc in the 1 second. Started off really bad. Okay, the galaxy is not ready because no one paid attention.
You know what I'm talking about? At the outset of the game, what am I saying? What did I say before?
I think you repeated everything I said.
Did I?
Boobs.
Wow. There are choices you... It can either be a paragon or whatever the opposite of paragon is. Never,
a renegade.
Never been one, so I wouldn't know.
After 2 prequels.
Even though it looks like a third person cover,